The papyrus, put it on my table every month. I don't wanna be sad. Don't even try to hide it. No, I don't wanna lose it. And you say how it is, it's so inviting. The papyrus, we're all so alive. The papyrus.
Hello and welcome to the Papyrus TV with World News. First, the headlines. UK Home Office accused of racist crackdown on Nigerians after visa refusal for elite security executive. Bill Gates pledges majority of fortune to African health and education. UN aid convoy attacked in Sudan. 5 killed as famine threat grows in besieged capital. Vietnam abolishes two-child policy amid population decline. Elon Musk clashes with Trump over labels of disgusting abomination, tax and spending bill. Trump labels Chinese president very tough as China-US trade tensions reignite. The details. The UK Home Office is under fire following its refusal to grant a visit visa to Samuel Onyekachi Ibiawuchi, the CEO of BK Security Limited, one of Nigeria's top security firms, which has provided services for former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, UK and US politicians, and footballer Alex Iwobi, among others. Ibiawuchi, along with his wife and 18-month-old child, had applied to spend 3 weeks in the UK this summer to visit his sister, Hope Ibiawuchi Bills, and her husband, Nick Bills, a prominent campaigner for migrants at Ramfell. Despite the couple's financial independence and a full sponsorship guarantee from Ibiawuchi Bills and Bills, the application was rejected on the grounds that it failed to satisfy officials of their intent to return to Nigeria. The rejection also cast doubt on Ibiawuchi's financial viability as a self-employed individual, despite submitting business registration documents. The refusal letter warned that future visa applications would likely also be denied. Nick Bills condemned the decision, linking it to a broader racist crackdown targeting Nigerians, especially after recent reports of UK policy shifts designed to restrict visas for specific nationalities. Bills argued that the couple's well-documented family ties and economic standing make them unlikely overstayers and noted that such an application would likely have been approved in previous years. Samuel Ibiawuchi expressed disappointment, emphasizing that their intent was only to visit for a short family holiday. His sister Hope criticized the Home Office for not properly reviewing the invitation documents and lamented the emotional toll on her children, who had anticipated their cousin's visit. The Home Office, in response, maintained that all visa decisions are assessed individually and based on the evidence submitted. However, internal sources confirmed that applicants are allowed to reapply if they address the stated reasons for refusal, financial evidence being one major sticking point in the Ibiawuchi family's case. Meanwhile, American billionaire Bill Gates has committed to donating the bulk of his $200 billion fortune to support health and education initiatives across Africa over the next 2 decades. Speaking in Ethiopia, Gates emphasized goals such as ending preventable maternal and child deaths, eradicating infectious diseases, and lifting millions out of poverty through education and health interventions. Gates stated that the Gates Foundation would lead the charge by deploying his remaining wealth for impactful projects. He highlighted how artificial intelligence could revolutionize healthcare, education, and agriculture on the continent, while warning of aid disruptions caused by Western government cuts, implicitly criticizing recent reductions under the Trump administration, including programs led by Elon Musk's short-lived Department of Government Efficiency. In a separate interview, Gates accused Musk-backed policies of worsening humanitarian crisis by obstructing the delivery of food and medicine. A Gates Foundation statement said it would sunset operations in 20 years, having pursued 3 principal goals: eliminating preventable deaths of mothers and children, fighting infectious diseases, and alleviating poverty. Continuing, an aid convoy bound for El Fasher, the besieged capital of North Darfur, Sudan, was ambushed in Al-Koma, a stronghold of the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF), killing 5 people and injuring several others. The trucks, operated by the UN's World Food Programme and UNICEF, had been stalled while awaiting clearance to proceed. The deadly attack comes amid escalating warfare between the Sudanese army and the RSF, both of whom blamed each other for the convoy strike. Local volunteers from the Al-Koma emergency room accused the Sudanese army of drone strikes in the area, just days after an airstrike on a nearby market reportedly killed 89 people. El Fasher remains under siege, with the RSF blockading food and medicine supplies and shelling UN facilities. The city hosts nearly 2 million people, including 800,000 displaced by Sudan's ongoing civil war. Community kitchens have ceased operations due to lack of maize and wheat, with only a few donkey-borne deliveries making it through daily RSF checkpoints. Sudan's civil conflict has now displaced 15.6 million people to 4 million across borders and 11.6 million internally, creating the world's largest humanitarian crisis. The UN has warned that famine is imminent in El Fasher unless aid corridors are secured and hostilities cease. In a major policy reversal, Vietnam has officially abandoned its decades-long two-child policy as the country grapples with falling birth rates and an aging population. The Communist Party government now allows couples to freely choose the number of children they want, citing demographic challenges that threaten economic stability. Vietnam's national birth rate hit a historic low of 1.91 in 2024, well below the replacement level of 2.1. Urban centers like Ho Chi Minh City reported even lower rates, with financial pressures cited as a key reason. The government has begun offering modest incentives to reverse the trend, including financial rewards for women having children before 35 and bonuses for localities with high childbearing compliance. The country also continues efforts to correct a skewed sex ratio, currently 112 boys for every 100 girls, by proposing stricter penalties against fetal gender selection. The move echoes recent shifts in countries like China and Japan, both of which face similar demographic crises. Furthermore, Elon Musk has publicly denounced Donald Trump's flagship tax and spending bill as a disgusting abomination that will balloon the U.S. deficit to $2.5 trillion and erode federal fiscal responsibility. Posting on his X platform, Musk criticized the legislation's pork-filled contents and accused Congress of bankrupting the nation. Musk's remarks drew support from Republican lawmakers like Representative Thomas Massie, but were swiftly rebutted by House Speaker Mike Johnson, who defended the bill as fulfilling conservative campaign promises. Trump himself weighed in, defending the bill as big, beautiful, while White House officials dismissed Musk's criticism. Musk, who had served as head of the White House's now-defunct Department of Government Efficiency, argued that the bill nullifies efforts to cut fraud and waste. The bill includes provisions to extend 2017 tax cuts, increase border security spending, and slash welfare programs such as Medicaid and food stamps. Analysts say it could cause over 50,000 preventable deaths by reducing healthcare access. Senate Democrats, including Chuck Schumer and Bernie Sanders, sided with Musk in opposing the bill, portraying it as a windfall for the rich at the expense of the poor. The bill is currently being debated in the Senate with a target passage date of July 4. Conclusively, U.S. President Donald Trump has reignited tensions with China, describing Chinese President Xi Jinping as very tough and extremely hard to make a deal with, in a Truth Social post. This came days after accusing China of reneging on recent trade agreements and amid renewed efforts by the White House to hold talks with Beijing. Trump's latest comments follow reports of behind-the-scenes negotiations to revive a fragile tariff truce. Analysts say the relationship between the two global powers is increasingly volatile, especially in light of mounting competition over technology, trade, and geopolitical influence. White House officials have confirmed plans for another direct call between the two leaders in the coming weeks. The diplomatic outreach is seen as an effort to manage a potential trade escalation ahead of the U.S. presidential elections.